All right. Refreshing the YouTube stream. All right.
Yeah, you may not want to watch that live stream though.
Wait, hold on.
Can I take a look myself on YouTube?
Doing still
And then it's
muted.
delayed, so that's the next thing.
Oh yeah, he's muted.
Wait, so me have mod control, or me mute them?
How's that?
Let me mute them.
Dale, still with us?
Yeah, we're live right now, so you can start.
All right. This is episode number 1 for Wednesday, April 8th, 2015. I am Kevar Clooney, and with me is Dwayne, Earl, and Dale Kurt. How are you doing this evening, guys?
It's been good.
Very good, very good. Mr. Dwayne, I'm not hearing anything from you, sir. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here. Yeah.
Just making sure. And Sir Dale, you here?
Yeah, man. Oh,
All right, cool.
I think you're watching the live stream, so it's feeding back.
Yeah. I brought up the YouTube page just to see if it came up, and it did. But actually, more or less, it would feedback into us talking. All right, shall we continue, gentlemen? Alrighty.
Let's go.
Oh, all right. So one of the things that we have to discuss this evening is the fact that Google is trying to take over the world, but besides that, they've introduced a new nifty device called the Chromebit. I'm pretty sure that most of you guys have heard about it thus far. What do you think?
So it's gonna be big. It's another Google thing. It's gonna be like the next Chromebook.
You really think so?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's just a lower barrier to entry for people who don't have like traditional computers or anything like that. Just like the Chromebooks have been compared to traditional Windows laptops.
Okay, okay. But truth be told, I've always seen the Chromebooks and never actually got a chance to play around with one. Anyone in the group was able to use one at any point in time?
I mean, back in the day when it was just like an early alpha, early beta, I loaded up on my netbook. But truth be told, it's just like you have Windows installed and Chrome installed on top of Windows, except you can't do anything else outside of Chrome. So it's very limited, but it's hyper focused, which could be a good thing for like schools and for education.
Okay, okay. Well, I mean, I guess it's a low cost solution.
Yeah, here's the thing though.
You're
I mean,
saying-
how useful has the Chromebook really been since it came to market? I mean, we know that Google released their actual manufacturer's standard of a Chromebook itself, which has been the price point has been pretty high. Has been a barrier to entry for a lot of users. I know the more recent one actually came down in price as well, but still out there. But how useful is it in terms of the day-to-day that the Chromebit will actually make sense?
Can I answer that?
Yes, one of the real questions would be practicality.
Well, I just wanted to point out that the Chromebook Pixel and the Pixel 2, those were developer books. These were like Halo products. These are the best of the best that you can get from Chromebook. But the regular Chromebook, those have always been the race to the bottom type products, like $200 and $250, something like that, $200 US. So it's always been super cheap. Just that Google decided to, go crazy with the Pixel, which is a pretty nice device by itself.
Okay, fair enough, fair enough, fair enough. And I'm noticing that there is well, sidetracking a little bit, I'm sorry. Noticing that on our Facebook page there's a little bit of activity as it relates to the stream on YouTube. Hoping to get some feedback from our fellow Tech Chat members. Just patiently waiting on that. But in any case, I haven't heard Dwayne. Dwayne, do you have anything to say about it?
Is he there?
Monsieur Dwayne? Are you here, sir?
I'm not
Yes,
sure if he's
sir.
having an audio issue.
Yes, the
I should probably have
audio
a
is a bit
voicemail group.
choppy.
Uh,
I wanted to make
Oh,
a
because the
point
system.
re the direction of the well, or maybe the implementation or adoption of the Chromebook for our local market.
Mhm.
Having worked in the education sector for a while, I've had students
Okay.
who had Chromebooks and actually expressed frustration because, for the most part, if they didn't have internet connection, which at times they don't, they can't do much work because of the heavy reliance on having data.
On the internet. Oh. So,
Yeah.
I mean, is it that it's safe? Definitely need internet in order to use the device to its full potential.
Well, I wouldn't say you need the internet, but the internet is very important for the Chromebook. You can do things
Okay.
offline. You can do docs offline. You can do a few things offline, but if you want to get the most out of it, you're gonna have to get an internet connection.
well,
Okay.
well,
Well,
I can tell you,
hmm.
there's been a lot more development with the Chrome book overall. I know there's a lot more offline applications, right? So I think that would actually solve some of the problems that some of the users are having, and it comes down to expectation as well. But I know,
Okay.
again, Google
So
has
it's a,
done that
you get
improvement.
what you pay for.
Yeah, you
Mhm.
get white paper, but I mean, what it really comes down to is I mean, it's a internet machine. I mean, browsing, watching videos, and light work, but it's not a full-fledged laptop as a lot of persons,
Mhm. Mhm.
you know.
That's true.
All
Yeah.
right. Um, Even looking at this, and I'm looking at it, I wouldn't mind getting one to play around with. That's the Chrome bit we're talking about, ladies and gentlemen.
All right.
Um, I mean, the price point is really, really good because one, most persons would have an HD TV in their home by now. Doesn't even have to be anything fancy, you know. That's
That's
one.
true.
Again, a lot of persons should by now have some form of wireless internet in their home. So some of the pitfalls that the Chromebook actually has, right, where it's heavily reliant on internet, this I don't think this would be the Chromebit. I don't think that this is suffer from anything like that.
Yeah.
But alas, we're only techies in this world, so can only wait and see, right?
Yeah.
That's true.
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
also, I think the appeal of the Chromebit actually goes after that market that actually adapted to the Chromecast device itself. These little mini devices that you walk around with.
Mhm.
You plug them in wherever, in a hotel, at home for your kids or so on. So I think it actually goes after that um, segment of the market. You know, but
But
go ahead.
does the Chromebit support Chromecast?
That's the next thing, and that we can't tell you because looking at the article, I don't think it mentions anything like that.
I mean, it should, right? It's a big feature.
It should. I mean,
That would
okay,
be much more.
casting from it,
Well,
you know.
I guess we won't really
I've
tell until summer. You know,
true.
when it actually
I have
launches.
a friend of mine that's in, but yeah, I have a friend of mine that's in Mobay. He actually has the Chromecast app on his phone, and he regularly casts stuff from his phone to his telly because he would have what you call it, the actual Chromecast device. So based off of that, and then I guess it's in the similar line of products, it should work. But again, can only wait and see when it releases.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I personally never had that whole adoption to Chromecast again because of the dependence on another device to actually stream to it, you know.
Okay. Okay.
But there's another thing that Google launched or released, which was being able to run apps, other like Android apps in Chrome or in the browser and so on.
Yeah, I've
That
mentioned that
more
a few
detail about it.
times.
I didn't go in depth in it, you know,
Okay.
but I think that would actually enhance the whole thing later on as well.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah, they put a few other Android apps on the Chrome extension store.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I played with a few of that and I played with it on Ubuntu. If you guys are familiar with it, you can download the runtime on Google Chrome and you
Mhm.
can play around with Android apps. Some work, some don't. So, but it's interesting, and that could really bring up the value of the Chromebooks in the future.
Put it in our Facebook group then, because we'll definitely take a look at it afterwards. And speaking of which, I'm actually looking at some persons commenting on Dale's comment where he said that we're live. Stanmore is messing around, I swear. But all right. And it looks as if we've gotten a lot more viewers on the YouTube channel as well, so that's good. Hoping that this would increase steadily.
How much are we looking at right now?
Well, we were at 8 viewers a while ago, and we dropped to 6, but I have no doubt that it will go back up. One of our members, Mr. Reed, is complaining that one of our internet service providers that we will get to later on in the program, and their speed is quite slow, unfortunately. So yeah, yeah, it is a pain. It's a pain in the you know where. So hopefully that sorts itself out. But all right.
Daily
No,
woes.
next on the agenda. What was that doing?
Our daily woes.
Yes, yes, or daily woes. Fret not. We will definitely hand that over to Mr. Dale when the time comes, because I'm sure he has many grouses about it. But one of the other things that's on our agenda is actually Windows 10.
Oh, I think you
Truth,
skipped one.
what's that?
Yeah, you skipped the Intel Compute Stick.
When I'm actually looking in the document, I didn't see it, but thank you very much for bringing that back up. Let me find that link. That's the Intel. Okay, the article is on ces.gizmo.com for persons that want to look at it as well. Intel's $150 HDMI stick that turns any TV into a Windows desktop. Now, I'm liking this. I am liking this. I mean, yeah, I'm pretty sure if it's
It's Adam.
well, I'm not only thinking about the technical specifications of it, but just trying to think how it would work. Meaning, plug it into the TV, yes, it boots and whatnot, but is it that the device will have built-in wireless? So if you have a wireless keyboard and mouse, you can use it, that kind of thing. Or if it's
Yeah,
built-in Bluetooth.
yeah, it's got
Yeah, that would be
Bluetooth, it's got
expected.
Wi-Fi, and it's got a USB port.
Okay. As a matter of fact,
So
let me
you have a
take a look
bunch
at
of different ways to
it.
connect peripherals to it.
Okay, good. Okay. Okay, well, yeah, I'm liking it now. I'm liking it better now.
Yeah, and I'll tell you the level of performance you can get out of the new Intel Atom chips, the Bay Trail stuff, is very
Mm,
impressive. I had a Dell tablet with an Intel Atom, feels
mhm.
just as fast as your desktop. And think about it, this is like a little pen drive
That's the
going into
thing.
your HDMI of your screen.
Yeah, I was just thinking that as
What's that?
well. So I was just thinking that as well as you mentioned it. The size, the form factor, technology really has come a long way. You know what I mean?
And the price too. You know, back then
Yes.
miniaturization cost a lot of money. Nowadays, 150 US, and you got a Intel Pentium Core 2 Duo class computer in the palm of your hands.
True. Let me see if I can find that
Like to
art.
push this
What are you
through
thinking about it,
slow.
Dwayne? What do you have to say about it?
And as I was saying that I'd love to push this through a few rounds, see what kind of punch it can give.
Well, I mean, the thing is, as I mentioned earlier, you really get what you pay for. So you're spending sub $200 for a pen drive-like device that would give you comparable laptop performance in your telly. I don't think it really gets any better than that. You're not going to be playing any heavy games on it, obviously. But, I mean, it really takes away from having a separate desktop for those that don't really care. And if they want to be connected to the wired world, then stick this into your telly, keyboard and mouse, and you're good. You really don't need much after that.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, unless a 15-inch TV.
What's that?
Maybe a 15-inch television.
Even that would work too. You better look a laptop.
Well, I mean, I like my telly, but I wouldn't necessarily want to use that much screen real estate on that. No, I'm fine. I have the PS4 for that one.
And another thing to note about the performance you can get out of an Atom, you can play like a Counter-Strike Source on at 30 frames per second, 720p. You can do a little bit of gaming. You can do like some Street Fighter or whatever. So you got a lot of potential, performance for a sub 5-watt device, sub
Which is
$200.
Like it uses a ridiculous amount of current that is just so low, it's not even a joke. But as you mentioned that, I know that a lot of persons here know about Raspberry Pi. You can actually build a retro gaming box using a Raspberry Pi. I stumbled across an article a couple of days ago. I don't know why I didn't post it in TechChat. But I'm liking I would buy a Raspberry Pi just for that.
The Pi's been around forever. It's the Pi 2 you got to pay attention to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Pi 2 is much better than the original Pi. But I've seen some of the devices they make. They make laptops. Do you remember the Motorola Atrix back in the day?
Motorola.
You can plug it into a laptop dock. Yeah. So they get those laptop docks and they plug it into the Pi, and you got a little Pi laptop.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
That is impressive. I like that. I didn't even know that. Okay. Now I'm noticing that our TechChat Facebook group is lighting up a lot of activity. I'm liking it so far. Good. Very good. Very good.
We need a proper live chat room for this.
There actually is, well, for the persons that don't know, we are using Hangouts to broadcast. Hangouts does have a chat. It does have a live chat box, but I'm not sure if persons watching would be able to actually see and participate in it. I'm really not sure. What do you say about that, Dale?
I don't think it's back yet.
Oh, no, well,
yeah,
okay,
can't hear a thing.
Okay. All right, so the next thing on the agenda was actually Windows 10 and Windows Server 2016. Now I know that Mr. Dwayne well, I'm hoping that Mr. Dwayne would have much more information on that. Truth be told, I haven't really been in the loop about Server 2016 that much, but Windows 10 is really causing a stir, especially the fact that Microsoft wants to literally give it away within the first year. I am liking that idea, trying to get persons on the straight and narrow, that kind of thing, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
Yeah, so for Windows 10
Okay,
for me.
well, all right. So
okay, go ahead, Dale.
So pretty much Microsoft wants to give away Windows 10. Similar to what has actually done with OS X. So the only issue is that the complication in terms of understanding how and who's actually able to actually do the upgrade. I think there's been a bit of confusion for users with that. There was even a rumor, I don't know how true it is, about actually persons with pirated copies being able to do the upgrade as well to legitimize anything moving forward. I said, I don't know how true that is.
Yeah, debunked it. They won't be able to.
What was that? Go again.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
they already made a message on it.
I think these things play into. Yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead, go ahead.
All right. So I just think these kind of misinformation also plays into or plays against Microsoft in terms of what their effort is. But what I do commend them for is that they have actually moved forward and acknowledged some of the stumblings and problems that they have had with previous versions. I mean, some of the missteps really shouldn't have happened, but it did. But I think Satya Nadella has actually done a pretty good job in terms of reforming what Microsoft is and what they're doing, and no longer being this closed off company, but have actually gone off into the whole open style of things and actually gone onto other platforms. Because really and truly, that's the way I see Microsoft really being successful or maintaining that level of success that they have today.
Yeah, yeah. Microsoft and the new CEO, their focus has been to switch from a product company to a service company. So you can see that with their push for Azure and their push for Xbox Live and all that stuff. It's been about the services that they offer with the products, not just the products themselves, not just Windows and Office and anything. It's been like Office 365 and stuff like that. So that's a big change for Microsoft.
True. Because I mean, Microsoft is never usually known. It's sad to say, but they're not usually known for giving stuff away free unless they're gonna benefit somehow. I'm just saying. That's my opinion. Don't shoot
Actually,
me for it.
they actually did give away something free some years back.
Hmm.
You know, we tend to not read um, user license agreements.
Mhm.
I believe it was
Who does?
Windows 2000. They actually, at the end of that long URL, that they added a prize. So
Hmm.
whoever read to the end of that could claim that cash prize, and only one person claimed.
That one person had so much time on his hands, man.
Yes,
Yep.
yes, I would say because I did not even know that Microsoft had something like that. It's the first time hearing that. But hey, stranger things have happened in the world of computing. I'm done. Just saying.
So
But
what do you
still,
guys?
on your point, Kivar. All right.
How's
So
that?
we look on Microsoft as giving it away for nothing, but in truth and fact, they're giving it
Hmm.
away to actually broaden their reach for users,
Hmm.
and really solidify their footprint already in the market.
Hmm.
So the actual benefit for them is, you know, is not monetary per se,
Hmm.
or not upfront monetary,
No upfront money, yeah.
It's the late game.
right.
The
So,
late game.
yeah, it's a late later game. It's a long haul. I wish a lot of companies really would actually see that. I mean, especially um, internal government and so on, actually looking forward in terms of what how the benefit is by giving away something now.
Hmm.
How we benefit from it later on. You know.
Okay. Okay. Fair enough. I
So
mean,
what do you guys think about Microsoft Server versus like its Linux competitors, like your Ubuntu and your Red Hats and your SUSEs?
I mean, Microsoft Windows Server, I believe it's come a long way. I'm going to be brutally honest with you. I don't have as much experience as I would like with it, but I've had some experience playing around with Windows 2000, Server 203, Server 208. So I played around with them briefly in a role that I held a few months back. So the most I can say is that they've really come a long way. And one of the other things that I'm thinking of is the security protocols that should be built into this OS. And I mean, I believe it would definitely be a force to be reckoned with, that kind of thing.
Well,
Yeah.
that's
I
one of the
like I like
issues.
the fact they have moved to offer, well, implement more security
Hmm.
in servers, kind of taking a page out of the Linux book, where
Hmm.
they actually give
Yeah.
you the bare bones implementation, so you can have a tighter control over your servers. Get it bare bone, install what you need, leave out the junk.
True. Fair enough.
Yeah, but there's some key differences between how the philosophy of Microsoft and the philosophy of Windows. Microsoft's whole security is security to obscurance, right? Secure black box security. You cannot see the source code, so you can't check it, you can't audit it, you can't see what the bugs are, you can't see what's wrong with it. But for Linux, it's different because you can go into the source code for Linux and you can see where the bugs are and you can audit it. Or you can hire somebody to audit the code and to figure out exactly what's wrong with it. So that's a big difference between a Microsoft server and a Linux server. A Linux server, you get much more control over it. So that's a big issue for Microsoft, especially with security, versus a Linux server. Big companies like I don't know, Walmart's in the States.
Sorry about that. Sorry about that, guys. Sorry about that.
All right, back. All right.
My humble apologies. Are we still
Back
good?
on?
Are we still here?
Yeah, man.
Yes,
Okay,
I'm
okay,
back.
go ahead.
Really, really sorry about that.
Go on, Earl. Yeah,
Earl was making a valid point. Continue, Earl.
I was saying that big corporations in the States and over the world, they want to have precise control over the products and the services they're offering. And with a Microsoft product, they have some level of control, but they can't understand what's happening in the lower layers, the lower levels of the operating system. So that's why Linux is so much more secure. That's why Linux is eating their lunch.
Yeah, well, all right. Even look at it this way, because even whereas you have commercial software or operating systems and open source, I mean, we still have an issue with security and vulnerability or being compromised, right, on both sides. So, I mean, there are pros and cons of it in itself. I think right now Linux does have a bigger footprint in the server market. Windows does have a lot of footprint on the desktop side of things. Linux hasn't really been able to break through on the desktop side in terms of how Windows has so far. You might find out few techies or so, and I mean even with Google Chrome OS making that stride itself, because again it's also Linux based. And I think that has, with the backing of Google, has a bit of potential for it, but it hasn't gotten there yet. But as Earl said, I mean, internal security, I think there's still vulnerabilities on both sides, and it doesn't equate to the fact that one is commercial and another is open source.
Okay.
But let me tell you how bad it is for Microsoft. One more thing, Keviar.
No problem.
Microsoft runs Linux VMs. I mean, they run Linux operating system in their hypervisor and in Azure. That's the product they give. They don't necessarily just give you a Windows server. They give you the option to load your own Red Hat server on their platform. So they see the potential of Linux and they see that the customers want Linux, but they still want to offer the service as their Azure platform. So I mean, it's a complex issue for Microsoft. They want to offer a service, and they want to offer the product, but the service and the product kind of fight in the sense that the service can work with multiple different operating systems that the customer might want, but they have this product this legacy product they still have, which might not be necessary for the server space, but
Well, jumping on that point, it could be also a result of change of the culture within Microsoft, because they still have Windows Phone, right? And they still have their Office, but they are actually launching equivalent version to Android and iOS, and they did it on other competing platforms before. So it would be unwise for Microsoft to even not recognize the fact that there's not a larger footprint of Linux servers and not support it, even especially with their cloud environment. So yeah, they have to do it. That product would definitely die if they didn't do it.
Okay. I mean, well, Well, I guess as I said, at the end of the day, it's really dependent on what they want to do, really and truly. I mean, if they see where it makes sense to give the product away for the first year, who are we to say no, right?
True.
I
Well,
mean,
personally, I
yeah,
don't use Windows, so
yeah.
it doesn't matter.
Oh, he's a Mac man. He's a Mac man.
Yep, Mac all the way.
Mhm. Well, yes, he is a Mac fanboy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
They're the
I wouldn't
worst.
go that
You
far. I
know,
wouldn't go that far.
you didn't go that far.
I
But
wouldn't
you,
go that
when
far.
it does what you want it to do, that's what's important.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I
when I
mean,
use
it's the
Boot Camp,
system, you know. Mm.
when I
But
use
Well,
Boot
of
Camp, it
course.
does what it needs to do.
Are you serious?
I'm always joking. Like
Okay,
it's
boss.
defile the
Okay,
entire
boss.
hardware system for that.
They all know
Um,
VNext.
Mhm.
what was that doing?
Like
VNext.
VNet, that's what you said?
Next, yeah.
what's
Oh,
that?
don't know it.
Didn't get that.
VNext.
VNext, NEXT.
Yeah.
Okay. No, don't know it. What's that?
Windows Server VNext. That's the code name for Server 2016.
Hmm.
Oh,
They come up with some very interesting names from time to time.
yeah.
Yeah, so they are planning on releasing the second technical review for
Hmm.
May. Um, the previous, well, the first technical review that they released was in October last year, and that
Okay.
actually will expire the 15th of this month.
Hmm.
But it is said that they are planning to release a solution that will extend it until the May release is ready.
But question.
That should somehow
Mhm.
coincide with their major event called Ignite that's coming up in May as well.
Okay. It's all done for a reason. I mean, I'm guessing they want to keep the hype. So if they coincide both events, then it should bring a larger crowd.
Hmm.
Hmm. But
And they've
so is
actually merged the multiple conferences that they had in the past. They have now merged them into this one large conference now called Ignite. It's
okay.
expected to turn
So
heads.
is it equivalent
But
to Apple's overall events minus kind
WWDC.
of, yeah, I mean, WWDC or the actual product launches and so on. Is it similar to that?
Yes, it's pretty similar.
Okay.
okay.
So none of you guys work with Windows
They're
Server
they're
in an
they're
official
they're
capacity?
strongly pushing for. Repeat that.
If any of you guys work with a Windows Server in an official capacity or in the downtime?
Yeah.
Official. Where I used to work. Where I used to work, I was setting up. What is it? I was setting up point-of-sale systems on a network. So there have been like a few of my customers that would have server 2203 on their machine, on their main machine. So yeah, that's about it though. That's why I mentioned that I played around with it briefly, but nothing to the case where, or nothing to the point where rather setting up the Active Directory and those kind of things. So I still have a long way to go in learning with that. I'm not afraid to admit it.
Well, I still
Previous.
manage servers for clients that are Windows with Cold Fusion and so on. And to be honest, those have been the biggest headaches, especially hosting it on Amazon. But I mean,
Hmm.
still a server to be managed. But if it were up to me, then I'd definitely switch over to Linux.
Okay, okay, okay. And one of the things that I find with Linux as well, sorry, as you mentioned it, it Well, which one was I using? Because I used I've used
Most
Ubuntu
likely
before.
Ubuntu. Yeah. Fedora,
Yes, I've used
maybe?
Ubuntu. And I've used Mandrake Linux. I don't know if you guys remember that.
That's
Is it
ancient.
still around? Is it still
Mandrake
around,
Yeah,
is
sir?
Mandrake renamed Mandriva.
Mandriva. I think.
Mandriva. Well, before it was
Hey,
Mandriva, it was called Mandrake.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, I tell you what, there was
Yeah,
a
it.
YouTube video that is
Mhm.
called, it's titled Linux Sucks, but it's not as you would, the title suggest.
Oh, I hate that guy,
Um,
man.
I love that guy. I think he made
Brian,
some
Brian, right?
very, yeah, he made some very valid points
Yeah, he does. He does.
about it, you know, because a lot of times you find
Mhm.
these distros branching off and a new one comes up, and then 2 years later you don't hear anything about it. And
Yeah,
now
it
you
dies on
have,
the vine.
yeah, well, not even a Vine. I mean, it go through a very short life cycle, you know,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
after that it's no longer valid. But you have all these distros.
Okay.
I mean, back in the day, it was good to have all the little distros that do different things. Now you want to be a
Mhm.
bit more focused, you know, and forking something just because,
Yeah.
well, I don't like
One.
this, you know. Go ahead.
Yeah. I guess the different, as I said, the different distributions really is a matter of choice. You
Yeah,
Mhm.
want something
they
that.
have their own personality to themselves.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah. I
Excuse me.
remember when I used to browse Linux ISO, going through A to Z, trying to find something that would fit my particular need at the time.
Well, I tell
It
you,
was fun.
yeah, the thing is, what I found, you stick with the major two variants, either the Red Hat variant
Or the
or the
Debian.
Debian variant, and that's
Mm.
it, right? Don't try and branch off into something else. And one step down, which is either CentOS or Ubuntu. I mean, once you know those, you know anything else, you know.
Yeah.
But
Pretty much.
it's all up to you, really. When it comes down to
Your
you.
Red Hat, your CentOS, your Fedora.
Yeah.
Say that again. Say that again, Earl.
I'm saying like for you have your Red Hat, your CentOS, your Fedora builds. So
Mhm.
as like the big server OSs, and you have Ubuntu on the Debian side.
Yeah, and the thing with
Mhm.
Ubuntu is really, I mean, I think it's entry level learning Linux. You want to mess around with Linux, start with Ubuntu, that kind of thing, because it's
They
really
have the
really
biggest
simple to use.
community. Yeah.
Yeah, they do. Like it's the support is really big for Ubuntu.
And I
Any
might be
problems
Yeah.
at
going
all,
off
Yeah.
topic a little bit here, but you guys seen the Ubuntu phone?
the Ubuntu phone, I've seen it.
Yeah,
I
I've
Is,
seen it demo.
want to
is it
play
launched?
around with one because it looks cool.
Yeah. It's not here in the States yet. I was had to pick one up, but yes, it looks pretty good.
Hold on. Is it
Okay,
the phone that
okay,
can actually
okay.
become a desktop and
No,
or a
no, that one
tablet?
died. That one
Okay. All
died
right.
on the Kickstarter. They have a cheaper one for like 150.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That's like a low-end phone, but it does all the Ubuntu stuff. So it's like a first start into Ubuntu OS.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, fair enough, fair enough, fair enough.
But you know, to what Kevin said earlier, I think if somebody really wants to get into Linux and learn it, they should really start with Gentoo. I remember
Oh,
actually,
crazy.
yeah. I mean, step by step,
Gentoo,
you
that,
learn it all the way through building up the machine.
You
And
have
you
to
make a
build.
mistake, and you go back, and you start back
mhm.
over, you build a kernel, everything. You
You have to
know, I
build
think that
everything
was
from
hardcore.
scratch, no?
So,
You have to
so that's
compile
not
and
the
build
polish you
everything
put
from
things
So
in it.
scratch.
it
Yeah, man.
Gentoo is still being compiled.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
it's
can
still
still, yeah.
active.
You can get the finished thing, you know.
2000, I think like 2006. A friend of mine, he used Gentoo, and he says you gotta compile it from scratch.
Yeah, yeah, you do.
Hmm.
The new Gentoo really is Arch Linux. I don't know if you've heard
Yeah,
of that one.
yeah, I've
Arch
heard it.
Linux.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Getting very
that's
popular.
Gentoo for the new kids.
Yeah.
So many names all at a time to remember them all. My word. Gee.
Hey, if you guys
Okay,
check it
okay,
even
all right.
on like Reddit, that they have like the
Mhm,
sysadmin or the Unix areas. Like if you see like screenshots
mhm.
of person's desktop and so on, a lot of them tend to be Arch. You know, I mean, I think that's because it gives you that feel of being a hacker and building it up. Um, you know, so you feel a bit more accomplished when you have something up and running and go in there and so like, you pretty much know the intricacies of it. So it's pretty rewarding as a OS.
Okay. Okay.
Earlier versions of Ubuntu actually gave me that level of satisfaction. Wi-Fi wasn't properly adopted back then as yet, like version 6,
I
7.
remember that one.
So
That was
you had
hard
to,
times.
yeah, you had to get your Windows driver and recompile it for
For
Ubuntu.
Linux.
Yeah.
That's very disturbing to go through.
No, that was then though. That was then.
Yeah,
Nowadays,
Back then.
anything you plug in, it works.
yeah. The JavaScript today, I mean, you can't have a manufacturer building hardware and not have support Linux. You know, I mean,
Mhm.
Yeah, that's true.
it's
That's true. That
like
is true.
you
Game
totally
support.
segregate yourself against a large audience of
Mm,
people. It's almost like having an app for Apple and not for Android. You know,
mm,
so
mm.
you have to support it.
Okay. All right. The other thing, well, one of the things that I forgot to ask was how many persons here got to actually fool around with Windows 10 with the technical preview for it?
I'm trying it right now.
Oh, you're using it now?
Right now,
Hands
yeah.
off.
Nice. Nice. Seriously,
It's
Dale, you're not
stable.
touching it with a 10-foot pole? It's
Uh,
the devil. Don't use
no,
it.
here's the thing. I would run Windows like if I were building a gaming machine, right? But for day-to-day work, I really can't see myself going back to it. But if I definitely were going to build a PC for gaming and so on, I would have to do it. I mean, other option is Linux, but I would definitely go Windows for it. So it's not that I wouldn't. I really don't see myself doing it right now based on what I need to do
Okay.
day to day.
Okay.
Fair points.
I mean, I would fool around with it because I mean, right now my machine is aged, so I really want to rebuild it. But that little thing that's called money, it's not readily available as yet.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I have to hold off on rebuilding it. But I would want to try Windows 10 though. I mean, I like that it kind of brings everything together. I'm not an Xbox user, but I understand, that it brings the whole Xbox multimedia experience together, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like thinking media center on a grander scale, Windows Media Center, everybody here knows that,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, I mean, I like that. I like that it has the integration built into the OS, and it's not something that you have to download extra to get it installed or what have you. I like
Yeah.
it.
The problem I had
Mm,
with earlier version like Windows 8 when they made all that drastic change is that you'd find
mm.
somebody asking you, hey, how you do this in Windows? And the first question is what version you're running? And they tell you 8,
Which one are
I
you
say,
using? Yeah,
yo,
that's
I can't help you because you don't know how to
no. Listen.
navigate.
Okay, fine. Windows 8 had a learning curve. It had a
Okay.
learning curve.
Curve,
You know
Well,
what?
more like
Though?
a. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. No, no,
learning
hold on,
plateau.
hold on. Let me rephrase. Windows 8 had a learning hill. Like this is Windows 8.
Mhm.
This is learning Windows 8 right here.
I
But
mean,
mhm.
look at just how long it took you to learn just Windows XP back in the day, compared to what you were using before. When they just started learning how to use computers.
No.
I mean, the old people suffer, I guess. People like people used to DOS and shit. Excuse me.
Oh my word.
But like the younger people who grew up on
Then
tablets, they'll get Windows 8 though.
please pardon Earl's French.
Oh,
It
sorry.
was a slight
Slip of the tongue.
miscommunication in transmission. So it came out as it should be shaving cream. That's what it should have been.
Yeah, there we go.
Shaving cream. But you're right though. I mean, you're right because I have gotten some calls. I've gotten some calls about Windows 8, and I can tell you, like the first thing I tell them to say, all right, Press the Windows key, type what you want.
There you
That
go.
usually
That
helps. You know,
that's
that
that's
usually
the
helps.
best advice you can give.
The
Yes, that's
That was
correct.
my
IntelliGrams
that was my
was good
favorite
when they came out
feature
with
about
Windows
Windows
8.
8.
Yeah, and I mean, I really like it because anything you want, you just type it, and it's intuitive. So autocomplete and all of that, and you see the selection of things, the different things that would possibly be what you want.
I mean,
I mean,
on Windows 8 it was kind of buggy, but in Windows 8.1 they kind of fixed up the
yes,
UI right there.
8.1 is good. 8.1 is really good, and the 8 still had its works, I should say. But can I
Well,
tell you, I'm
go on.
coming from the age where coming from the age where I learned computers using MS-DOS. My first OS was Windows 3.1, so it's a long time. Yeah,
Yeah.
3.1, then to what was it after? I think it was 95 or NT, then 95, and that 95 and then 98 and the 98 second edition. Second edition was one of the best, by the way. I really like 98 SE. Um, what else was after that? Then they had
Must
Windows
have loved
2000,
ME
I
then.
believe.
2000 and
Yeah.
ME.
Then they had ME, and I'm gonna be frank,
Monster
ME was
SP.
just garbage. ME was just
Yep.
horrible. ME was horrible.
Hmm.
Like, there's nothing
Monster
else to
SP.
say about that. Yes, yes. A friend of mine who's now in Montego Bay, he swears by this today. He had ME on his machine, and ME caused him to lose like 3 hard drives. I have no idea how.
Oh,
I don't know why.
Oh wow.
That's what he said. And it's hilarious to this day. So it was ME, and then you had XP. And XP was really
It's
the
pretty good.
turning point.
The
Yes,
It's
XP
Redeem
really
probably
was
the
the turning
best
point.
release yet.
Yeah, I think it came, I wouldn't say it came before its time, but it really came at a time where we really needed something simpler in terms of computing, right? And then the different service packs, XP Service Pack 3, I mean, I can tell you, like, it really was good first time. It was good first time. And then came Vista. Oh Lord
please
Jesus,
don't call that
Vista.
name.
Yeah, my apologies. Then came
It was
He Who Shall Not
ME
Be Named. That's it.
reincarnated.
The big problem though that happened with Vista was that they changed the driver model, so a lot of the old drivers just didn't work from XP. So
Hmm.
that's why that was so buggy because you install your sound card driver and that's dead. You install your video cards, those
And,
didn't
and
work
it wouldn't
either.
work. And that's the thing, it wouldn't work.
Printers, all that stuff died pretty
And then
much.
the access control. Oh my word, that's the bane of everyone's IT existence. I swear to you. User access control was just a pain in the derriere, you know. And then came seven, and seven was, I believe that seven, I classify it as XP in new clothes.
Mm.
That's what I classify it as XP in new clothes. Um, in any case, the next thing on our agenda is the Samsung Note 4. Now, the Samsung Note 4, as quoted here, is the Jesus phone.
Yeah,
The Samsung
that
Note
was
4 is the Jesus
yeah.
phone. Yeah.
Michael actually he was joining us to talk
Hmm.
about that a bit more. But he
Okay.
made a comment on the page, claiming it as a Jesus phone based on his experience. Just kind of holding it and using it.
Hmm.
Um, now,
Hmm.
full admission, I haven't used it. I haven't actually used Android full on to say, all right, um, to give it any credibility itself. I want to hopefully this summer
Hmm.
and see how that works. But I wish he was here to actually talk more on it.
What?
But that's
Mhm.
pretty much it.
Well, for me, I'm just waiting to send my Note 3 before I upgrade. That's just my thing. Using the Note 3 now, and I love the device. I'm just saying, really, really love the device. So yeah, I'm hoping that I may be blessed by someone wants to buy my phone, so I can get a Note 4.
Good
Okay.
luck. You can always try
Thank you very
that other side. What's it called? Gazelle. or eBay.
Yeah, but
I don't think you get much for it though. That's the only problem.
eBay. No, that's the thing. The prices are dropping. So if I were to sell this right, because it's used, if I were to sell it now, I'd probably
Mhm.
be able to sell it for like 300 US. They're about three high 300 to low 400, and that's putting it at a stretch. But I guess we'll see how that goes.
Okay.
Dwayne, any word on a note for?
No, I hate I hate checking out phones that my pocket carry.
Okay.
Mhm.
Fair enough.
It's
Fair
too
enough.
hard
You see, that's
wrenching.
why you sell something and make up, so you don't spend
Yeah.
all of that out of pocket at
Actually,
once.
for the past 4 years, I've been using a Samsung Captivate.
Okay.
That's a Galaxy S1.
Oh yes.
The Galaxy S1. I need to see a picture of that. You better get a webcam next time we're in this, and we show us a picture. Because I'm like, my God, look at that
Well,
relic.
I
Oh
would
my
say
God.
it's running smoothly, but
Mhm.
I'm running 444 on it now. Using
Cyanogen.
Cyanogen, yeah.
Nice.
Mhm.
Minimalistic RAM.
It's getting a bit lagging now.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Still, well, I have my eyes on the OnePlus, so I'm
Yeah.
seeing if I
One,
can get there.
yeah, the one
A
I
little
Yeah.
bit off
am.
I
topic, but
think
have you guys checked out the Moto G?
I
the
actually have
Moto
a
G or the
Moto
Moto E.
G.
Either one.
Mm-mm.
This
That's
this
the cheaper
device right
version, yeah.
here. Hold on, sorry. This one. Yeah, here we go. That one. So yeah, I mean, I have this and my notes, and we don't have any issues because it does what it wants to do. No, it does what it's supposed to do. I should say.
That's the second gen.
I'm sorry, I'm thinking behind it. I'm
That's
sorry,
the second
McKenna.
gen Moto G.
Yes, it
Who
is.
who
As a matter
who
of
has the pants in that ownership?
I got this phone from Mikhail, our mutual friend Mikhail. I actually purchased this one a couple months back, and it hasn't failed me as yet. So big up to Mikhail.
The thing though, all right.
Okay,
Here's the thing.
no.
If I were moving to an
Mm,
Android phone though, I would
mm,
definitely go with the OnePlus. All right, that would be my entry level Android
They're
phone.
good.
Yeah, and
okay.
but the thing is, if I were to follow some of the guys even on TechChat, a lot of them
Mm,
change on the phones very regular. And personally, I don't have them kind of Android money for spend on change on the phone every six
no,
months or so on.
that's why I
Even if I'm
said at
selling
the
one,
input, said
can't do
that
it.
I am not forking out $70 on a phone. Nope, not do it. I'm sorry, not doing it at all.
Without that kind of money, there still.
Well, all right. No, no, it's all
To,
right. That's it. That's a car payment or insurance payment or something else that's more important.
to be honest, what me I look out for is a really cool Android flip phone.
Android flip. What?
What
Why?
one?
Why would you do that?
What one?
I mean, who else gonna have an Android flip in the world?
You must have an Android flip phone. Such blasphemous talk. My word.
Or you know what I
Okay.
want to get to?
What's
There's a Fujitsu phone that you could run Windows 7 on. It was a small 4-inch phone.
Why would you want to do that?
okay?
I don't know, man. It's just I just need something
that
crazy.
sounds interesting.
The
That sounds
Android, the
interesting.
iPhone is just so boring now.
When you want to stand out from the crowd. That's what you want.
There
Mr.
you go.
Giovanni, sir.
Ah, you're back.
Finally.
How are you, does it? How are you, does it?
Prodigal
How are
has
you, does it?
returned.
Pardon me?
Like in SpongeBob, the narrator would say 2 hours later. I, I'm sorry, that's what this is.
uh,
Okay,
Alright. Oh,
we
damn it,
have
man. The lower third.
the,
Jeez.
the lower
Can
third.
I
It's
get a
fine. It's fine. Remember, this is a test run. A
Ah,
test run.
sorry.
So we definitely fix it up. It's fine. Now the last
What was
thing
happening
that is
though?
on the tip of everybody's tongues. We're actually going to touch on flow issues. And everyone in this room and in the tech chat group and on YouTube watching can say, with beyond a shadow of a doubt, that Flow has tried to shaft them in many ways, many more than one. Sometimes with lube, sometimes without lube. I'm just saying. Flow is just disgusting. I
With wedges in
swear.
between.
Oh, jeez. I
Where to
mean,
start?
I have where to start. Indeed. I mean, okay. Dale, let me ask you. You're a fearless leader. What has been your experience with Flow?
All right. So disclosure, I used to work with Flow in the early days. Um,
Hmm.
so I, I understand a bit of what their constraints are, all right?
Hmm.
But if you're coming from Flow from the early days of what they used to offer, it has never been like this. I mean, they were the best alternative to what we had at the time, which was pretty much Lime, right?
Hmm.
And they came with a lot of promise, right? And a lot of it they delivered on in terms of the service quality at the time. Um, you know, and in other areas with their voice. I mean, voice hasn't really taken off in Jamaica because of the cost. But cable as well was a there's a barrier to entry for most persons, and they've adjusted that with the a la carte and so on. But the internet, which I believe is their most popular service offering, lately has begun to suffer. And I think a lot of persons credit that to the fact that they're merging with Lime, but I don't think that is the cause of it, right? Um, I know that they've been doing upgrades on their network. I know that as recently they're putting a new CMTS um, on the network, and they've been offering DOCSIS 3. And if you notice that, as of since this morning, I think that most users would notice that they don't no longer have an amber light on their upstream because they're doing some
Hmm.
bonding as well to that. But and I know the upgrades should actually deliver a better service to us, but that's not the only area that we have experienced an issue. Customer service. They recently moved their customer service offshore. Um, Early on, a lot of persons would call
You
and not
really
even
want to talk
understand.
about customer service?
Say again?
You really want to talk about customer service?
Yeah, I mean, it was never this bad. It was never this bad. I mean, you'd call and the person would say, well, where are you? And where are you? And the person would say Barbican. I said, and then they would ask you, is that in Montego Bay? They don't have no geographic um, idea in terms of where customer base is, right? Because
Mm-mm.
at times,
No.
up as well is the accent because we're not familiar with it, so it throws us off as
Language
well,
barrier.
right? And also, they've actually lost a lot of their good talent to competitors, namely Digicel. You know, so
Mhm.
you find a lot of people would jump ship and try, you know, shop their services out to Digicel because Digicel is jumping into the market as well. And
Mhm.
I think
Wired?
also right now, say again.
Digital jumping in for wired?
No, well, yeah, they're laying fiber, to my knowledge. They're trying to offer triple play services as well, right? Um, so they had done acquisitions in those areas altogether. I mean, they acquired Sportsmax. They acquired, I think, what was the cable company called? Telstar, right?
Yeah.
And they had contractors laying down fiber through Kingston. So I guess
Mhm.
by either end of the year or next year, we'll actually hear more about that. But if you look at it, Flow, as far as I know, Flow and Lime are the only two providers who actually have fiber coming into the island, right? And now
Mhm.
you have a merger, right? So that means any other competitor jumping on board would either be using their facilities or an
Mhm.
infrastructure or having to establish their own infrastructure off island into Florida, right? I don't see these guys doing that. I don't think they're going to make that kind of investment, right? So they probably end up
Mhm.
just reselling um, service on their on Lime and Flow's infrastructure, right? So I mean, given that happening, the other issue that we have a lot is with the packaging. The ratio that we get, it is horrible. I don't know. It feels like you're actually, I don't know how to describe it, but you offer an up to 12 megabit per second, and you're getting anywhere between 60 and 70% of that, consistently, right? And if
Well,
you
does it not
that,
depend on off-peak or on-peak timing?
That too, but in the fine print that most of us don't read, they say to you that you're not going to get the full whatever it is that you pay for. That's the thing.
and not
Mind
guaranteed.
you, I don't have an issue.
It's
Yes, the key
in the
word up to.
Yeah,
up to
mind
yeah.
you, yeah, up to. But now, personally, I don't have a problem with that. At least you tell me from the get-go. But holy crap, man! I mean, I'm using the internet. I do a speed test. I'm getting 9, 10 megabits. Fine. I do a
Yeah,
speed test like an hour later if I realize that it is dragging. I see 5, 6. Do another one, 2, 3. I'm like, what the hell? Well, I don't understand. I mean, I understand that you will have on-peak hours. On-peak hours is usually anytime after 6 in the evening. That's when persons leave school or leave work. Um, and when I go to bed like me, I go to bed like midnight. So persons will be on the internet browsing or whatever, or streaming movies, Netflix and whatnot, from about 6 o'clock till about 10, 11 o'clock. But even after that, you have sometimes where even in the middle of the day, like in the middle of the day when everybody is at work, the internet drops. Your modem restarts randomly. Like, what the
Yes,
hell? I
that
don't
has been happening
understand.
a lot
That
lately.
has been happening to me a while ago, like
It would just
constantly.
restart at random. And it
Do you
comes
guys
up.
have any idea if it's a technical issue on their part?
That's the thing.
I'm
Lack
pretty
of
sure that
capacity, lack of switching capacity or something like that?
well,
Like
all right.
what?
Here's
Go
the
again.
thing. We
Mm.
we as a subscriber on the outside, we really don't know what's happening there, right?
And there's not much effort to
Yeah, and it's not
advise
really
the
be
public
communicated
what's
either,
going on.
But it happens, and even like lately, what's been happening is that they actually changed the policy. So you have to have an outage for like at most 72 hours to get a $300 rebate. So you extended your actual outage on your policy now, so that we really don't get it, even if we're out for 2 days. And
Mhm.
if you take like even like for today, for example, you're out from 1 o'clock up until 10 a.m.
In the
right?
night.
And yeah,
Oh,
no,
sorry,
but
in the morning.
1 in the morning to 10
Till 10 in the morning, yeah.
in the morning. I was like, hell, like I don't like every single device I have use internet,
Mhm.
and you can't do nothing, right? So you say, all right, let me entertain myself in the meantime. Nothing.
And entertain yourself on what? I mean, you can read a book. You
I
could
mean,
watch
yeah,
paint dry.
you can
I,
always do
I
a mobile
don't
data
know.
plan. You have a
You
mobile
can
data
always go
plan on your
outside. You
phone.
know, outside work.
Whoa. Don't
It's
let me
like,
start on the mobile side of things. That is
this,
a different story altogether.
no. Listen to me, man. If we were to talk about mobile internet service right now, this program would not end. I'm not even joking. It wouldn't end. We'd want for this another hour
I second that
talking
one.
about that.
Let's save that for the
Because
next week.
mind,
I just run a speed test
let's save that for the next
to
episode. Let's save that for the next one.
digital server,
Yeah.
and I'm getting down 1.57, up 0.65.
What? Up?
Run a second test to Flow's server,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm getting 7.2 down, 0.72 up.
You know what I noticed? What I noticed, I understand that Flow uses a different server. Because if you go on Flow speed test and Lime speed test, they use different servers, right? But
Mhm.
let's say, for example, Flow speed test is in Florida. You go on speedtest.net, you pick a server in Florida. You would assume that the speedtest.net website and Flow's website would have similar throughput. Sometimes it's totally different. And then you would test, let's say you test Miami, Florida on speedtest.net, and you run a speedtest on Flow's website. A lot of times, the speedtest.net result is a lot lower than Flow speed test. So
Well,
I don't know if anyone noticed that, you know.
all right, but look at this though. Here's the thing with using Ookla with their speed test. Flow actually has an endpoint for Ookla here in Jamaica, right?
Okay.
And I think by default we end up in Florida or so. But what
Mhm.
I've been reading is that a lot of times with the flash-based speed test is that they actually do a
Mhm.
caching on it. So you might not get a
Mhm.
true reading on that because even though you're connected to say Texas or New York and they have a local cache in Ireland, right? You're not getting that a true speed test. So what
Mhm.
I end up using is
That's
like
true.
testmy.net, and there's another one I came up on today. Well, that was given to me. I can't remember what it's called, but I'll post in the comments or so. But it would actually generate the actual data you're transferring, so you never get the same thing over and over, right? And then that would give a better reading. And it's not flash based. One of them is HTML5 and the other just the generation and it's just a normal JavaScript type of thing, you
You know
know.
what I'm gonna ask for? Post that link on the tech chat group because I'd love to check it out.
Yeah, man, I'll do that.
I'd love to check it out. Yeah. Well, does anyone else have any? Does anyone else have ever? Yeah. Sorry. Does anyone else have anything else to say about our lovely service provider?
I think here's my thoughts. I think
More
for
thoughts?
one, they their packages need to change. The upload needs to be a bit closer to what the download is. So if you have a 12 megabit download, make the
Mhm.
upstream be at least 50% at least, right? But because
Mhm.
it's ridiculous. I mean, right now the packages are designed for us to be content. It was absorb content, but we
But
can't create content, right?
hang on. Say it again. The packages are designed for what?
All right. It's designed for us to consume content, right? So you have a big download speed,
Oh, okay.
right? You can watch your Netflix if you can. You can play your games not so well. You can
And this
watch
is
YouTube at 720 dpi, you know,
720p.
p, right? Uh, but for you to create content like what we're doing now, it's very difficult,
Mm-hmm.
right? We can't
Mm-hmm.
compete with other persons out there that are way ahead of us because they have bandwidth that is reasonable cost and have better packaging for it. And we need to get to
But
that point.
that bandwidth coming out the eyeballs, like literally.
Yeah.
That's just it.
Yo, I remember
they
this
don't have a
guy
business package?
can't afford that. All right. Right now, if you want 100 meg with 5 upstream, 100 down and 5 up, you're looking at almost $10,000 to $13,000 a month. That shouldn't be.
Which doesn't make any sense.
My mother is
That doesn't.
paying less for more than what I have now, and she's in New York anyway. But you know, it shouldn't be that. Shouldn't be that.
Well,
Is
the
it
thing is,
is flow cable or is it fiber optic
It's
or
HSC.
straight copper? Was that
It's fiber to the curb, and then actually from the top is
the
coax.
last mile?
in the
Well, to
house,
the curb, to the curb.
is coaxial cable.
Yeah, to the top
In the house is
outside
coax. Yeah.
is fiber.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
I don't know. I mean, one would hope that is something that they're constantly looking at. Mind you, as and there you're right. You're right to say that we really don't know what's going on the inside, right? So we can only hope. We can only wait, and all of this on the hope of having proper internet speed. But on that note, gentle folks, we have come to the end of our program. Um, it's
Oops.
been good. It's been good. We
Yeah.
we this first broadcast, it should be interesting. I'm hoping that YouTube has some recording thing, or Mr.
I
Dale
hope.
recorded it. We can
Well,
watch
I
it and
didn't.
make
I'm
sense
hoping
out
that
of
it's
it and
there.
see what we can change and all of that lovely stuff. All
All right.
right. Gentlemen, Mr. Dwayne, Mr. Earl, Mr. Giovanni, that joined us like 10 hours later. Continue.
Yeah, not my fault. Not my fault. It's slow.
All right,
Very good.
and Mr. Dale himself, the tech chat extraordinaire. Without him, none of this would be possible. None of this would be
Yeah.
Right,
possible without him.
right.
All right, gentlemen, please enjoy the rest of the evening.
All right.
And
Same
All
to
we'll
you
right.
guys.
speak again same time next week, right?
Yeah,
Same
man.
time, same
Yes.
place.
Yep. Yep.
Yep.
All
Have a
right,
good one, guys.
All right. Cool,
peace
man.
out, man.
All
All
right.
right.